Hi everybody, welcome back to Hit or Miss Hallmark Movie Reviews. I'm Daniela.
And I'm John. Mazel tov.
Yes, hope everyone is doing well. We're still in wedding season this month.
Yeah.
June is wedding season on Hallmark.
I think this is the third wedding.
Today we are reviewing
The Wedding Contract. Sexy.
This stars Becca, Tobin, and Jake Epstein. And Laura Solitas. Soltis. Gosh. Always mess her name up.
I like Jake Epstein a lot.
I like Jake Epstein. I love Laura Solitas. I think 5 Star Christmas will always be my favorite with her. We saw Jake in, what was it, 8 Gifts of Hanukkah. You really liked that one. I thought it was okay. You liked that?
I didn't really like it. I liked it because I like Jake Epstein.
That was your favorite part of that one?
Yeah, that was the first time I saw him, I think.
Yeah, and then Becca was in Christmas Is You, which is one of those like pop star comes back to the small town.
I mean, I don't mind her.
Christmas
She's
time.
kind of cute. I think she was in like Glee or something, right?
Yeah, she was also in Glee. Yeah. So from the sounds of this one, I thought this was going to be, you know, like a big misunderstanding movie.
Oy vey.
Yeah. You know, maybe 2 people fake an engagement kind of thing, and then they have to sign a fake contract, so they're both in on it. But that is not what we got here.
No, it's not. So what is it about, Daniela?
Rebecca, a teacher, and Adam, an ad executive, are excited to plan their Jewish wedding. But their wedding and future are put into jeopardy when Adam lands a new ad campaign and when their mothers finally meet.
Oh my God, the moms. Well, before we even get into it, I will say that I think, you know, again, they did advertising pretty well.
Oh, like the representation of ad as a career, like a profession?
I mean, sort of. You know, they always do it like the biggest scale with the least people. It's like, you know, in Canada, that whole operation that was like him and his partner and then the owner, that's like 40 to 50 people that operation takes in a normal situation.
And I did like that when they were kind of stressed out or overworked, he would kind of go on his treadmill and think things through.
Yeah, that was kind of cool, but it was a little on the nose with sort of like him running the rat race. Like it was like literally he's just like, oh, just run on your treadmill. But yeah, it was kind of funny.
That and a few other things were definitely on the nose.
Yeah, for sure. Well, but what did we think of this?
Okay, so what I will say, you know, we definitely have a more true-to-life movie here, something very realistic. At least that's what it seemed like. You know, I appreciated the love that this couple shared. I liked that they had realistic jobs and normal lives. They had to make choices that every couple getting married has to make about religion, family, careers. So I will give it that. However, I was bored out of my mind because it was so realistic. I found it to be just very, you know, like run-of-the-mill. While we were watching it, I just kept saying out loud, like, this is so, like, run-of-the-mill and boring.
It was very middle of the road.
Can I fault it for that?
No, I mean, sort of. I guess you can.
I only really found myself being moved by the story of Adam's dad and having him be part of the ceremony in spirit by including his, you know, prayer shawl. I think that's what it was called.
Hockey scarf.
I mean, it does look like that, yeah. It was part of the...
Chuppah.
Chuppah? I don't know, we're butchering everything. That was really lovely and actually truly moving.
Yeah, that was nice. I mean, Jake Epstein was in an interview where there was a pre-warning where he was like, you know, this is probably one of the most human Hallmark stories you'll ever see. And I'm like, oh, that could be bad.
I mean, true. I would definitely agree.
It definitely was, but I mean, yeah. I mean, this felt like it was going in a fun direction. I was sort of reminded of like my favorite Lifetime movie, Will You Marry Me?
Love it.
Which follows a young couple trying to plan their wedding with very different families because one's Jewish and one's just straight up white.
Yeah.
But that is not what we got.
No.
Maybe this movie just needed Wendy Malick.
Love Wendy Malick. Bring her in every movie.
Chances are that's not going to happen.
She's amazing. There just wasn't enough to keep me engaged or simply just entertained. Like basic entertainment. I was not entertained. I was bored. You know, I'm all about everyday stories that are simple and true to life, but when, you know, like when you have stories like that, you need something. You need like excellent dialogue, or you need an interesting kind of twist, maybe, I don't know, or some innovative framing or some interesting shots to level it up a bit. You know, and I know we don't normally see that typically in Hallmark movies. They don't really take a lot of risk in terms of like shots or just directing in general. And that's too bad. I think, you know, maybe some clever directing choices here maybe could have elevated it slightly. I don't think it could have helped it at all or saved it at all, but maybe it could have brought something entertaining and different to it.
I mean,
whatever. I don't know.
Maybe I'm gonna like kind of stop you there just because I don't think it was really like, yes, there was direction problems, but I don't think it was like stuff like that. I don't think this was gonna be fixed by like some cool angles and whatever. I mean, the idea and the story was actually very good. It just, the execution was not. I feel like we have a misstep in pre-production here.
Okay.
Casting, writing to a point. You know, some of the dialogue writing was actually very good, just wasn't executed well at all. And the directing here. The story and the idea, like I said, I thought were very good. I liked that Jake's character was detached from his Jewish identity. That is an original spin we don't usually see.
Sure.
What we were left with after that was possibly the most un-Jewish Jewish movie ever made.
Really?
After watching, I wasn't really sure how I felt about it. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I also didn't like it.
Yeah,
I was like
but
I don't know whether or not to make this a hit or miss.
Exactly.
But I definitely know how they could have fixed it. But I'm gonna leave it all till Nit Picky.
This was just very even Stevens, you know, kind of like what you're saying. No real highs, no real lows, no like real conflict. It was just very
and
like this.
Again,
It was just
for a Jewish type movie,
Boring.
no real conflict doesn't make any sense. It's like it should have been like there should
bit
have been
more over the
fights.
top or-
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
like all over the place. But anyways, let's get to performances.
Yeah, so, you know, Epstein and Tobin are great here as the lead couple. You know, I like that they had to play two people who are already in love. We're starting to see that a little bit more with Hallmark movies. We're not really seeing the beginning of the relationship. We're seeing them already together. You know, they really
realistic.
sell it. They sell it. You know, Rebecca and Adam's shared history. But I don't know, I'm gonna give it to Laura here. I really enjoy seeing her on screen. She played Adam's mom, and although, you know, at first she comes off as this kind of like pretentious snob, the scene with the shawl where she goes and finds her late husband's shawl really sold her performance for me. She brought the emotion there, and I really felt that.
Yeah,
and I was
that was
like,
cute.
I loved that scene.
She did
That
a
was my
good
favorite
job.
scene in the whole movie.
Yeah,
her with the shawl.
that did kind of the shawl scene. It did
Yeah.
bring it together. I mean, I did think that both leads were pretty good here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't feel like they were directed very well, or the rest of the
Yeah,
cast
the
wasn't directed
directing
very
wasn't
well.
great, yeah.
Because like when they were on screen together, it was kind of okay. The awkwardness it made sense, but I think the production woes stole any thunder they might have had brewing.
Yeah.
But I can easily say that Jake Epstein is the standout for me here.
Yeah.
He had
he's
some
good.
like shades of Paul Rudd happening,
I can see that. Yeah.
which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
He was given more room to be funny here. He wasn't very funny in the 8 Dates of Hanukkah.
Wasn't he funny? I thought he was.
No,
he was like kind of goofy.
He's sort of goofy, but he wasn't given the same room he was to be funny here. And he was the only funny thing about this entire movie.
I didn't really find him that funny here.
No, he was just he was good at being sort of awkward and like making faces. He didn't have to do any like
Yes.
laugh out loud jokes.
I
He
didn't
was
really
just,
notice that.
well, I
don't
mean,
know.
that's the only thing I noticed about in terms of comedy in this movie. And I look forward to his next role. And hopefully it's not the sequel he was talking about this movie.
Oh God, there's a sequel to this movie?
No, like they asked him, they're like, well, you know, what do you want to do next? And he's like, maybe a baby movie. And they're like, a sequel to this one? He's like, 100%.
It doesn't warrant a sequel. This couple isn't interesting enough to see them off having kids or anything.
Yeah, but
like
again,
that.
this
I didn't-
wasn't even really about the couple. This was supposed to be about the family, and the family is what
And the
fell
Jewish
flat.
traditions.
Well, yeah, I know.
And learning about that
They-
Jewish couples have wedding contracts that they have to sign and agree
I
on.
know, and all of that weirdness. I feel like Becca and Jake could have done their exact same acting with all new cast around them, and this would have worked.
Yeah.
It
Sure.
that's just not what we got.
Yeah.
But let's get to Hit Picky
Yeah.
and see where
You have a lot of these here. So yeah, and I agree.
These are the three things I was talking
Yeah.
about, yeah.
So the casting.
So Nit, casting, yeah. Now, even though I like Jake's character, I like that his character was removed from his heritage.
Yeah.
The movie really needed some Jewish love. I don't know who was in charge of casting, but what the hell are you doing? I've never seen a more un-Jewish seeming family. Like
The mother in particular seemed to not
none of them.
very Jewish. I don't
Literally
know.
not one of them, including Becca Tobin, who at least has a Hebrew last name, was able to convey even a hint of the Jewish characteristics we've come to love. Like,
Unless they were trying to move away from stereotypes. Who knows, right? I don't know.
But they're just making everybody so whitewashed and boring. It's like
Yes, it was boring. That was the problem. You can move away from stereotypes, but at least fill it in with something interesting. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the dialogue was still there for it to have the stereotypes. The stereotypes are there in the dialogue. They just didn't perform it that way. The only person that was even slightly Jewish in this movie was Jake Epstein,
Oh, yeah,
and he
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
supposed to be. So that's a big
Well,
miss.
he's like half Jewish. Or
Yeah, he's
something,
supposed to
right?
be not a Jewish religion guy, so he doesn't really know about it.
Yeah. Okay, the direction is another nitpicky. I agree with this one here.
Yeah, overall the movie did not have bad writing. I really believe that some of the situations were kind of lackluster, and I'll get to that back to that parts of the writing after. Even with the casting being wrong, these very white people could have been directed to like Jew it up, sort of like just add some flair, like add some like oy vey, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, if we're just
get it.
tossing Australians every movie, passing them off as Americans, why can't we do that?
Well, yeah, when you put it that way, it's like.
And you're casting them as a Jewish family. It's not racist. It's like, just do your job. There were tons of good lines that would have totally worked if they were done with some Jewish flair. There was literally zero Jewish flair in any of the lines by any of the people.
There was no flair anywhere.
Look, we want you to express yourself, okay?
The writing.
The writing that did suck. Now, this kind of goes around, like, the dialogue was all written pretty well, and as I said, if this was done with some, Wendy Malick and other people, then it would have worked.
She does have flair.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly.
Yeah.
She doesn't even need to be Jewish. She just kind of has that air, right? Like, there's other people you could have got. You could have got Tori Hatcher.
Terry Hatcher,
sorry.
Okay.
Was any of the mom drama or any of the drama, actually? Almost every time there was an argument or disagreement.
That's why I said there's not like conflict. There wasn't enough conflict. Even when they tried to introduce conflict with the mothers and stuff, it wasn't enough.
Even when there's conflict, it was like, I think it should be this way, and the other person would be like, well, I think it should be that way, and they're like, you're
then
probably
it was
right.
silent.
Okay, and then it was just like, no, done.
It was
like-
silent, and then they kind of just both gave a look.
Yeah.
And then that was the end of it.
And that was it. It was like, oh, well, somebody's right. It was.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, this movie needed at least more conflict between those characters. Like even the moms, like Laura Soltis was kind of being a bitch, but it didn't sell.
Not enough. Yeah.
It didn't sell at home at all.
Yeah.
And after they dropped the dreidel in the last two categories, there wasn't anything left for this movie to go on.
My nits were just a little bit more like in the details. The sketches that they used in the intro, they looked really strange. I don't even think you saw it because you missed.
Oh no, I missed the
actual
intro completely.
Yeah, and
I guess
so they
you
had
could show
these
me.
kind of sketches. Yeah, we'll show clips of it, and the heads looked really awkward. I noticed it right away. I guess like graphic design background. I'm just like, this looks like some sort of like AI generated sketch.
It's AI. It's always AI.
It's just like the heads looked. It seemed a little bit off, but
Yeah.
it's a little nit. It was a little nit. A small hit for me was the pizza. Also in the beginning.
Oh, did I miss that too?
Yeah, they had a shot of deep dish Chicago pizza that looked absolutely delicious.
So much sauce.
In my notes, I just had like pizza, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation.
That's all
And I'm
that
like,
pizza.
oh my God, it looks so good.
No.
I also mentioned this too. I liked that we had another hit. I liked that we had a little bit of a pre-intro to the movie, and then the title shows up.
How much of this movie did I miss in the
you missed
intro?
that
I
whole
missed like
beginning.
2 minutes.
Yeah, well, this all happened within that time frame.
All right, well.
And I kind of liked that, but Hallmark very rarely does that kind of an introduction. And I've always been a fan of like we get a little bit of some action, a little bit of introduction, and then you see like the title. And I've always kind of liked that.
I like
kind
that
of
too.
stuff. And they did that here.
That's
so
definitely
I
not very
thought we were
Hallmark.
in for something maybe a little bit more interesting, innovative, different.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. Another little observation, not so much a hit, really, just a tiny observation that made me chuckle a little bit was the pregnant sister.
Actually, wait. Stop. I totally forgot about her. She's a hit.
The pregnant
sister
sister
is a hit, and
Okay.
she was actually sort of Jewish.
Oh yeah, definitely,
She
definitely.
she was selling it a little bit. I completely forgot about her. She was one of the only other things in the movie that was like, oh, she's cool, and her eating the pickles
Well, there
with
you
the
go.
ice cream.
There's your
Yeah.
Jewish,
Yeah.
authentic Jewish
Yeah,
kind of
but
performance.
everybody needed to be like her.
I mean, I just like that she kept eating pickles with dessert.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
That again was a little on the nose when I said there's a few stuff like on the nose, like the pregnant woman always craving pickles. But I don't know, it was kind of like a funny detail.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
I mean, this needed something.
This did.
So,
This
there
needed
you
a
go.
lot
That's
more.
what they used.
A lot more pregnant ladies eating pickles.
Yeah, just like overall, it was just like.
Yeah,
boring.
when we
It
were
was just
when we
not
were done
entertaining.
watching it, we were like, I don't know, is this like the first time we're just gonna give like a
We
not
can't-
hit, not
we
miss?
Can't even say, we
do
were
that.
saying that to each other. This isn't a hit,
But it's
but
not
it's
a
not a
miss.
miss.
But because it's not a hit.
In the middle, like I don't know.
Anyways, let's get to writer and director. So the writer here is Karen Berger.
Burger.
So many great credits under her belt. The Wedding Veil Journey, The Wedding Veil Expectations, Love Lights, Hanukkah.
Yeah, I
Those
loved
are good.
that one a lot.
I mean, that still stands as like one of the better Jewish ones.
That's one of
why
my favorite
They gotta
Jewish
try
ones.
harder here. Come on.
The director here is Peter DeLuise. I don't know if you know the actor.
The actor, oh.
So I remember him from 21 Jump Street. I remember him particularly dressing up like a hobo. And I don't know if he was like undercover on one of the episodes and that's just standing out in my mind, but I definitely remember his face and he was dressed up like a homeless person. Anyway, I had no idea that he was directing, and he's actually directed a few Hallmark movies. Some other credits include Hanukkah on Rye,
we missed that.
which we missed.
That might be a good one.
There's
Who
might
knows?
be, we may have to go back and
Yeah,
watch
we have
some of
to give that one a shot.
One Calls the Heart, 2 episodes there. Love Under the Olive Tree. So I don't know. I had no idea that the actor
Well, I mean,
is now directing.
you know, there could be other things at play, but I did have some beefs with the directing here. Only because
definitely. It wasn't great.
I feel like I was reading the script, and the script wasn't terrible, and the idea was pretty good.
boring.
So yeah, somehow it ended up being boring.
Just boring.
So, did this hit or miss the Hallmark for you?
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say a miss. Even though that's even too much to say.
It is. I mean, you know, the smash sound, because I'm gonna say it's a miss too.
Yeah.
The little smash sound seems like a little harsh because it
seems a little
wasn't.
harsh,
It was very, very small miss, but it definitely wasn't any more of a hit.
No.
It sat in the middle more than any movie we've
Strange
probably
movie.
reviewed.
It was strange
It had
in
some
that
hope.
it had
some hope.
no levels, no ups and downs, no peaks and valleys, nothing.
Yeah.
Just straight.
It was just motor.
Boring. I mean, we have to we need a counter for how many times I've said boring in this review.
Yeah.
Because that's the word that comes to mind.
I'll have a boring counter. Anyways, let's get to the Hallmark report card.
Yeah. Promotion or deadline? I think yes.
The wedding?
Well, he
Yeah, there was a
and he
wedding,
was
yeah.
promoted, and then
Yeah,
also
yeah.
the wedding, and yes, definitely.
Career-driven lead.
Well, he was. I would definitely. I mean, she was
Definitely.
a teacher, and she did meaniful work. But it was
Her job
definitely
mattered to her, but he was definitely
driven. He was more
the one.
driven. Was he more driven? I don't know. But it definitely goes to him, I think.
Big misunderstanding.
How? Which is what I thought the whole thing was going to be.
Could have used it.
Could have used it, sure. Change of heart. Yes.
What was the change of heart? The mother's?
Yeah.
All right. Someone gets dumped, fired, or dies. No.
No. Second romance subplot.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I thought maybe the sister and the brother, but it really
No,
wasn't a
it-
subplot at all. No.
Proposal or wedding?
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes. Travel issues. Yes, he did. Remember the car?
Yeah.
He was late.
Definitely.
Oh my God.
Oy vey. Selling the house, business or farm?
No.
No.
No. Big city, small town transition. No, we're
No.
pretty much in Chicago and then LA and then
See, maybe that's it. Maybe
Chicago.
it's the Chicago Jews are different.
New York.
I don't know.
I
It
don't
doesn't
know.
make any sense.
I don't know.
The almost kiss.
No, full on kiss. Couples that are already together. Yes.
Yeah.
Mad Dash. I think it was yes, right? He comes back. Wait.
I actually forgot. Oh my God, we're
I think there's
I'm
yes.
so hot.
I think yes. I'm gonna say yes. It was
Okay.
a Mad Dash.
Let's give it to them.
Could be wrong, but Mad Dash.
So
okay.
that is our review of The
Yeah.
Wedding Contract.
Sorry.
Not the worst thing. I mean, definitely give it a watch and let us know what you thought. Did it hit or miss the Hallmark for you?
Yeah, this was off for me.
Off, but not awful. Just
Off, but not awful.
I think the thing was we expected it
that's
to
a good way of
be
saying it.
much better. We expected it to be really good.
Yeah.
And even when we were watching, it was like, okay, it's getting there, and then just like.
But I have to admit, I was waiting for it to be done. I was like, I can't take this anymore.
That's how it goes.
Boring.
Anyways, we have one more wedding movie left, and this is the one that I think is going to work.
I'm hoping we'd get a little RRR
And what is it?
here,
Is
like you said.
make me a match or find me a match?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Anyways, it's
Looks like
it's
fun. I'm hoping it's fun.
Indian themed, and
Love it.
hopefully we get some fun dancing and some fun
Love it.
music and some humor, and they know how to make movies. But you know
again,
what? So do
everyone.
Jewish people.
So, thanks again, everyone. You're wonderful. You're great. Thanks for the support. We will see you very soon.
And we'll see you for the next episode in a few days. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already.
We'll see you very soon. Bye.
Bye.